Hi everyone, today I want to share with you how to make these adorable drink themed aquarium nails. And these are my twist on aquarium nails. Twist, you get it? Twist of lime, twist of lemon. So anyway, these are my pink lemonade and these are my mojito. Alright. So I'm going to start with my display nail and I'm going to tell you what I did first. So I wanted to make these freestanding and then apply them to my nails because I had done one that was, I did it on my nail and it was really difficult. And so I decided that instead of struggling to do it with my non-dominant hand onto my right hand, I would make a freestanding drink and then attach it to my nail. And so that's how I came up with this. So the first thing you should know is that this is done with a nail tip. You should go at least 2 sizes smaller than your nail with your gel or acrylic already applied. Alright, so that's the first thing you should know. Now what I like to choose a deep sea curve tip because you can fit more stuff in there and you'll get more movement. It won't be as flat. First thing you do is you take your nail tip, you file it down, you file the top down and the bottom. Okay, so you have to make sure you have a square edge at the bottom. Some nail tips are sort of rounded. Let me just show you. Some are sort of rounded, so you have to file it down so that you have a sharp point at the corner, so that way you can seal in the corners better. Okay, so I've already done that with this one. This one has nice sharp corners, and I filed the top so that it can look like a glass that's been split down the middle. Okay, so that's what it looks like. Alright. Then you take your display nail or your model nail. You're going to take a nail that is the size of your own nail so that you get an accurate fit. Alright, so in this case I'm using a larger one because I'm not going to use this on myself. So I've applied a coat of Unt nail lacquer peel off base coat, and it's thoroughly dried. I have my little cup ready. The next thing you want to do is take some, now I'm using this top coat from, I got on eBay. IBD is a good one because it's a thick one. You can also use, excuse the creaking of my chair, you can also use something thinner. Madam Glam is a thinner no wipe top coat, but it should be a no wipe top coat. And I'm going to go ahead and apply my first coat of the no wipe top coat. Before I cure it, I'm going to take a thinly sliced Fimo and I'm going to flash cure that into that gel because one of my Fimos is stationary, it's gelled in place, and one of them moves. I found that if you have them both moving around, sometimes they get stuck and one gets stuck behind the other and then you lose your movement. See, I have one up here that I gelled in place, and then I have that one that moves. Same thing here. I have a lemon slice up here that is gelled in place, and then the one at the bottom moves. Okay, anyway, so that's the reason for doing this. Okay, so I'm gonna flash cure now. If you have one of these little handheld LED lamps, that's really awesome because that helps you along. If not, you can just put that in your regular freestanding curing lamp. I'm gonna go ahead and flash cure this for 10 seconds to keep that Fimo in place. Okay, so that should be in place there. So now it's not moving, it's in place. So this is going to become the base of your nail, and I'm going to just show you a prototype. This is the back. Okay, this is one of my prototypes that I was experimenting with. In this one, the bubble is too big, so there's no movement, but I'll tell you about that later. So that is the back, and that's why you want that to fit pretty accurately onto your nail, because you don't want there to be any gaps, spaces behind your nail and the glass. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and cure that. I'm going to flash cure that for 10 seconds. I'm going to be curing my little glass to that base. Before I do that though, I have square little glitters that I have in my glass, and I found that when I put the little glitters in loosely, they would all bunch up, and then the Fimo would get stuck with the glitters. So I came up with a different way to make my little ice cubes stay in place and look like they're floating. And what I did was I took my little iridescent glitter and I attached it to the inside of the glass before I cured the glass onto the base. And the way you can do that, either by just taking some and curing it in place with a little gel, or you can attach it with a little nail glue. This is something that I got on eBay, and it's called gem gel, and it's like $1.59, something like that. And I'll attach a link in the description box for you guys so you can get these. These are awesome. So this is really, what's in here is thin gel. It's more like, it's like top gel, like the Madam Glam top gel. It's not extremely thick like this one or the IBD. Okay, so, and it has a brush that you can open up and use, and it has this tiny little applicator, and what you do is you put that around your gems, and then you attach your gems, or you secure them in place. But this came in really handy working on this, so I'm gonna attach the link for you guys if you want to get one. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and attach my little ice cubes to the inside of my glass off camera, and I'll be right back. Okay, and then I'm gonna take my base and I'm gonna put down another layer of No Wipe Top Gel on here. And that one shouldn't be very thick. Then I'm going to take my glass and I am going to place that over the nail. Now I'm keeping my Fimo up at the top. I'm making sure that I'm right in the center of, and I'm not, it slid over, right in the center of the C curve of the nail. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to flash cure that, but you can, at this point, you can put that in your curing lamp, and you can cure it for 30 seconds. So that's pretty secure. Now there's a little gap on this side. I don't think you can see that, but you see it right there. There's a little gap. This one is pretty well sealed in, but there's always going to be some that you really have to make sure is covered up with your gel so that there are no leaks. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is, I've already taken the backing of a nail form. I've applied 2 layers of no wipe gel top coat. I've cured each layer, and I have this nice thick piece of gel that's been cured, or plastic at this point. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make the bottom of the glass and attach it. So I'm going to take my, now this one I've used already. I cut some pieces off on some other ones I made. But I'm going to take my cuticle scissor and I'm going to cut in a curved form. So this has to conform to the curve of that nail, and the closer you are to getting it just right, the better. The less gel you have to apply to fill in all the gaps. So I've cut this little piece out, and I'm going to see how well it fits at the bottom of the glass, and it looks like a pretty good fit. There might be a little gap, but I'll fill that in with gel. Okay, next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take my little gel applicator, but you can use just your regular gel brush, and apply some gel to that little piece and attach that to the bottom of the glass. So it looks like I have a pretty good fit. I do see a little tiny gap in the corner here. So the way I'm going to handle that is I'm going to take some more gel and I'm going to apply it to the outside of my base. And so I make sure that there is no gap there. So now I'm going to flash cure that. Okay, that's pretty well secured. Now I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to trim away at the excess very carefully so that I don't pull away my base. Now I'm going to end up filing that, smoothing it out, buffing it. There are going to be several layers of gel that I'm going to apply over that just to make sure that it is really well secured. Okay, next I'm going to take, because I still have a gap right there, I'm just going to take my gel. I'm going to go around the base of the glass, at the sides of the glass, and I'm going to apply some more gel. And remember, it's going to be kind of thick, but you're going to be buffing and filing some of that away, so you don't have to worry too much about how neat it is right now. Of course, the neater you do it, the less you have to file away. But so I'm doing that, flash curing that. Okay, so far we have a pretty good seal around the glass. And when I attach the top, I'm going to seal around there again. Just showing you how that is looking. Okay, so that bottom of the glass is pretty well attached, and now I'm going to fill it up. Now, I'm using oil that I got from Dollar Tree, and this one has this little sprayer which serves you really well if you don't have something else to put it in with. But I have this needle, and it's not a hypodermic needle. It has a blunt edge, and it is not, doesn't have the sharp angled pointed edge that hypodermic needles have. But this came with a Glitz and Glam Aquarium tip nails that I bought about 8 or 9 years ago, and this comes in really handy. So this is filled with some of this oil. You can use baby oil, you can use glycerin, you can use different things. Do not put water in there because water evaporates. I'm not sure about using alcohol because alcohol also evaporates. So you have to be careful what you put in there. You have to put in something that will not evaporate. Okay. At this point, I'm going to show you something. For the pink lemonade, I made this. Now, this looks dark because there's a heavy concentration of it. But if you just take a little bit, it's going to be a light pink. Okay, so this is a mixture of glycerin and alcohol ink, and I mixed it, and that's what that is. I'm going to fill this cup up now. I like to put in these tiny little iridescent microbeads. The microbeads help, okay, with the flow of the bubble and the Fimo. Anyway, so I take a few of those, not too many. And I place them inside my cup. Let's see. A little bit more. Okay, so those are in my cup now, and you can see them at the bottom there. Okay, oops. Let's not spill our bubbles. And I spilled a few, so I'm just going to take a few more. And put them in. Okay. Alright. Close this before I spill all of them. Okay, the next thing I'm going to put in there, I dried some little leaves, some flowers a while back, and along with the flowers I dried some leaves, and that's what I'm going to put into my glass, and that simulates the mint leaves that you put in a mojito. Okay? Alright. Next I'm going to put in a another slice of lime. And this one is going to be the one that's going to go creating the movement. It's going to be going up and down when you move the nail. or when you shake your glass. So I have my ice cubes in, I have my Fimo, my little beads. Next I'm going to fill my glass, and you have to do this very slowly, and you're going to fill it all the way to the top. There's going to be an air bubble at the top anyway. If you don't fill it to the top, your air bubble is going to be too big, and it's going to look like the glass is half empty, as in this one right here. See the glass, it looks half empty and there's no movement because the bubble is way too big. Okay, so alright, so that's filled pretty much to the top. Set this aside. Next thing we're gonna do is the same thing we did for the bottom. I'm gonna take this, I am going to do the same thing as at the bottom. Okay, so that's trimmed away. I'm gonna file that later on, but for now it looks pretty good. Alright, I'm gonna just add a little more gel around that edge. I want to make sure that I don't have any leaks going on, so I'm just adding a little bit more gel to the corners and the edges of that glass. I'm gonna flash cure. Alright, so at this point we have our bubble. There's movement inside the glass. The bubble isn't too big. Now, let me just show you how large the bubble is. Even though I filled it to the top, there's still a nice sized bubble. See, if I would have filled it less, the bubble would be too big. So you have to fill it right to the top. Alright, so next I'm going to put a layer of white top gel on that. Then I'm going to start buffing and filing and shaping. But I want to make sure I have enough layers protecting that glass and keeping it from springing any leaks. So I'm going to take that, I'm going to cure it in my lamp, and then I'll continue showing you what you do next. So I cured that initial coat that I applied over the whole nail. Now I'm going to file down the edges and start giving it some shape. And be careful, as I said, you don't want to spring a leak. So even though you have that layer of gel over it, you have to still make sure that you're careful. Now I'm giving it a little shape by filing it this way and that way on the edges, but not too much because you don't want to spring a leak. Now you can either file that all the way so that it looks like a glass, or you can leave a little bit of a lip around it so it looks like it's one of those plastic glasses that have a lid on them. So you can do, that's your preference. You do what you want. with that. You can do it either way. I'm gonna make this one just look like a glass of a mojito glass. Okay. All right. So you can keep filing, and you can file it down with your nail file, or you can use your e-file, and that is going to give you a really accurate, precise shape, especially when you go around the glass. But I set it on my lowest setting because I don't want to end up destroying the work that I've done. So set it on the lowest setting and I go around. Okay, and then I don't want it to be perfect yet because I'm going to add some more gel to it just to build up the I'm going to build up the layers of gel to create a protective barrier over the glass. I'm going to wipe it down again. And I'm going to do that as many times as I feel I need to until I have a nice barrier on that glass, because that's going to be on your nail and it's going to get bumped into things, and you don't want it to spring a leak. Alright, so I'll be back to show you what I do next. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to separate it from the base and attach it to a nail. Okay, so I'm gonna remove this nail from there, and I'm gonna start trying to separate this nail from, separate the glass from the nail, from the base. Okay, so I used the unt. Alright, so now, very carefully, I'm going to start prying that away. And now if you're having too much trouble prying it away from the sides, it's really important to do that. But if you're having too much trouble, then you're going to take a nail file. You are going to break that seal that the unt has with that base nail, and hopefully that's going to facilitate your prying that. There we go. See, I'm breaking the seal now. I can see that it is coming away from it. And there we go. It came away really quickly because I broke the seal of that the unt had. Okay, so now you're gonna have that layer of unt peel away base coat, and it's gonna be attached to the back of that base. So you have to remove that. All right, so I removed the glass from the base nail. Okay, so now I'm gonna cut away some of that excess gel that we have around the edges. Very carefully. We don't want to spring a leak. Okay, then I'm gonna take my glass. I'm gonna try to file it down very carefully. And this is the way I like to do it. It's easier to get a more accurate level filing. Okay. And here's my beautiful little glass. All right. So next I'm going to attach it to the actual nail that... Okay, so for all intents and purposes, this is the nail it's going to be on. So the next thing you do is you apply a layer of top coat. To that nail. You take your glass and you put that on top. Now you have to make sure that there are no gaps behind, underneath, because you don't want any water to get in there. You don't want anything else to get in there. So you have to make sure you have a nice seal around that drink. Okay, so now at this point, when you cure this, if you want, you can buff it down again to give it more shape, or you could just leave it and then you just apply more top gel over the whole thing. But I'm just going to leave it because I'm just showing you, for my purposes are just to show you how to attach it. Okay, so here it is. Here's the finished nail with the drink. And there is the, let me just show you guys the flow of the leaves and the Fimo and the beads in there. And it is so cute. Now when you attach your Fimo at the top, your wedge, make sure that you have gel underneath it, all around it, because you need to protect it. It's going to be in water. It's going to probably catch on to things if you don't have a good seal around it. With mine, I actually added gel underneath all around. This one is a tiny wedge. You can't really see it, but because it was really thin. But there is gel all around that wedge. And because of all the layers of no wipe top coat, it's pretty well protected and it's gonna last. I've had these on for a couple of weeks and they are holding strong. Alright, so now you know how to make these aquarium drink nails. My new twist on aquarium nails, and they are so fun to wear. I just love them. Okay, so thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope you like that tutorial. I hope you use these. Please tag me on Instagram if you do these. Send me pictures, tag me, follow me on Instagram. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment in the comment down below if you have any questions, or if something is unclear to you, please comment down below and I'll give you the answers. And don't forget to subscribe, click on the notification bell so you'll know the next time I upload another video. And I will see you all on the next one. Take care, everyone. God bless. Bye.